If you have been keeping up with the news over the past 2 weeks, you probably know that Horizon's first chapter is already out in the theaters. And unfortunately, it did not exactly meet the expectations of the fans or critics, while also being somewhat of a financial flop. In fact, it was received so poorly that it is just announced Horizon's follow-up chapter will no longer be released in the theaters. The worst is that the next chapters might never be released at all. So Kevin Costner's dreams of releasing a 4-chapter saga have failed with only the first installment being out. Naturally, I can't help but question, did Costner make the wrong decision by investing in Horizon rather than sticking with Yellowstone? New Line Cinema just announced that Horizon Chapter 2 Inches will not be released in theaters on August 16th, as previously scheduled. The studio had initially planned a rapid back-to-back release for the two Horizon films. However, after the first chapter earned a modest $23 million in its first 2 weeks, they decided to adjust their strategy. Currently, the release date for Chapter 2 Inches is announced as to be determined. Needless to say, things are not looking good for Costner and his passion project. But why did this happen? Was Horizon really that bad of a movie that caused such a failure? I think the answer lies in its comparison to Yellowstone, the hit show that Costner left behind for the sake of Horizon. Of course, initially it might seem odd that people are comparing a movie franchise to a TV series. After all, they are in completely different mediums. However, in terms of their styles and subject matters, Horizon and Yellowstone are actually quite comparable, as they share lots of similarities. They both are about Western values and lifestyle, and preserving the land is one of the major themes in both. They both cover decades-long stories, and both focus on the nature of the Western landscape. These are only the surface-level similarities between the two series. When you get deeper, especially when it comes to the underlying themes of the two projects, we see similar buzzwords: leadership, manhood, honor, real American values, the glorious past, patriotism, family, and masculinity are some of the ones that come to mind the first. Especially when you put the Horizon Chapter 1 side by side with the Yellowstone prequel series 1883, it is difficult to pinpoint which one inspired the other, since both cover very similar topics with similar themes and take place in the 19th century. Though the scenarios are not exactly the same, both projects portray the demographic changes of the era on screen, showing the sufferings of regular people under tragic circumstances, have an ensemble cast that covers multiple storylines, and have a bunch of action and war scenes that will keep you on edge. Plus, Costner's characters in both Yellowstone and Horizon share very similar qualities, as they both are quintessential patriarchs with strong leadership qualities and charismatic presence. That is to say, it is not surprising to see both fans and critics compare Horizon to Yellowstone. The sad thing is, though, even though on the surface, Horizon has all the qualities that made Yellowstone the hit that it is today, when it comes to the numbers and the initial reception from the audience, it seems more comparable to Costner's previous movies, such as Waterworld and Open Range. According to the website The Numbers, the first part of this 4-part movie franchise earned around $5.4 million from 3,334 theaters in its second weekend, placing it in 6th position at the North American box office. So, things did not get exactly better after the flop of the opening weekend. In fact, these new numbers represent a significant drop of about 50% from its $11 million opening weekend, where it ranked 3rd. To date, Horizon has grossed $22.1 million worldwide. Unfortunately, only $455,610 of that comes from international sales, meaning the film relies heavily on domestic earnings to recoup its costs. The numbers estimates the budget for the first chapter of Horizon at $50 million. However, Variety reported previously that the production budget was $100 million before marketing, suggesting the $100 million might cover both chapters 1 and 2, as the second film is set to release on August 16th. Warner Bros. Is distributing Horizon, but doesn't have a major financial stake, leaving most of the financial burden on Costner, which breaks my heart as a massive fan. The numbers are not promising when it comes to critic reviews as well. On Rotten Tomatoes, the critics' rating has slightly improved from 40% to 46% based on 119 reviews, but it's still rated rotten. On the positive side, the audience score is 71% fresh from over 1,000 verified user ratings. In comparison, Yellowstone attracted more than 12 million people in its Season 5 premiere, a number that keeps rising with each season release. According to Variety, Yellowstone is reaching an average of 5.49 million users for each of its episodes when it is on air, which is a huge number. When it comes to how much the show makes, we don't have the exact numbers, but we know how much the cast members earn from the series. For instance, Costner was making $1.3 million for each episode in season 5, while Cole Hauser was making $700 and Kelly Riley was making $200. So, it is needless to say that the numbers are overwhelmingly positive when it comes to Yellowstone. That being said, I still feel like it is too early to make a bold claim and declare Yellowstone the winner against Horizon only by looking at the numbers. It took years for Yellowstone to reach the status it has today. So, perhaps Horizon can change a lot of people's minds with its upcoming installments, if there will be any upcoming installments in the future, and turn the tides around for Costner. Who knows, we may all go crazy for the Horizon franchise by the time the 4th and final chapter of the saga is out. But now the question is whether the movie saga will ever get the chance to be concluded. Or will Horizon Chapter 1 be forever remembered as the train wreck that was doomed to be incomplete? Also, I feel like we need to give huge praise to Costner simply for following his dreams, trying something original, and taking risks in the world of streaming platforms that keep repeating the same movies and shows over and over again. But what do you think? Do you prefer Horizon over Yellowstone? Which one is worthy of Costner's efforts in your opinion? Are you upset that Horizon flopped at the box office? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.